Okay.
Okay. So apparently we should be on restream probably in a few seconds. There's usually a huge delay, so.
Then what's live studio for then? Okay, so I see. So I see you. Should I click this? Okay, I see edit event. I see finish. Ah, yeah. Okay, it's because we're live already, so there's no button to go live.
Yeah. Then now if you connect it to YouTube to this specific live, okay, so it looks like we're live.
Yeah, we're live, yeah.
On YouTube as well. To this specific yes. Live. Okay. Yes. I confirm we're live.
No.
Yes, we're live on YouTube.
Okay, then let me switch camera. No, just be cautious. Everything is recorded.
Huh?
I mean, be cautious now. Like you remember last time when I was swearing?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, be aware that we're live streaming and it's gonna stay in the recording.
That's the fun part, right?
Yeah,
Like...
I mean, it's it's fun when you do it by accident.
We can pretend it was by accident.
Not anymore because you said it out loud. Okay, camera live.
Tamimi is on the live stream. Hey, Tamimi.
Where's my Zoom? Here it is. Count waste? No, not this one.
What was the name of that camera? Snap camera. Maybe we can start with the
Potato.
with a potato. Yeah, potato, 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 potato. Oh, I'm sorry.
Finally, much better. Hey, hola, amigo.
Hola, ¿qué tal? So you're already co-host. Okay, cool. I was going to make you a co-host, but you're already there. Jonas Lagoni está conectando con el audio.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Remember, we're live already, by the way.
Yeah, just beware.
Just so you know.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, it's okay. I'm not gonna hide it. I'm actually proud.
I think you
should.
You already talked about it during the last meeting, I think, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you hide it?
Exactly. It's stupid, right?
You're a celebrity. You should now just get some contracts with some
yes.
press.
I have how's it called? Like when you cannot work for a competitor. I can't remember. these clauses on a contract when you cannot work for a competitor of the company that is hiring you. Um, exclusiveness, maybe. Yeah, something like this. So I have exclusiveness with Postman, so I cannot I cannot have kids.
And you're gonna have to hide it.
And I have to hide it exactly, otherwise I can be fired. Imagine. That would be sick.
Probably in the past that such things were happening.
Hola, Antone. So I'm talking to people on the YouTube channel. And thank you for the congratulations, for the double congratulations. I wonder why double if you don't know what's the second part of it yet. Supposedly. Oh, yeah.
Let me put it on Slack.
Yeah. Live and direct. Screwing things out.
You have speech ready?
Actually, no. I
Like,
mean,
who you want to thank to, like, what's the prize for?
I want to thank my mom, my dad, my grandma, my granddad, both of them. And I can keep like this. And then you, your mom, your dad, and the whole chain.
And like everybody from the call?
And then like everybody from the call and their respectives. We can be here forever. It's already. Remember, you told me the other day on Twitter that you were wondering how many people were thinking that it's me having conversations with myself on Twitter, like tweeting from the AsyncAPI account and then replying myself, and then so it's already starting to happen. But for you, like you said "hola" in Spanish from the AsyncAPI account, and Antonio is saying "hola, Lucas."
He's just too smart.
Yes.
Let me.
You have followers. You have fans. Ah, bastard. No, I mean, whoever knows speaks proper Spanish will notice this is it's not incorrect, but it's not really Spanish.
You think that Antoinette speaks good Spanish? He will notice?
He does actually. He does speak Spanish from Badajoz, which is not really Spanish, but Oh my god, I can't stop it.
Speak on Safari is cool.
No hablo español. Yeah, that's true. That he speaks Spanish. He speaks Spanish, but not really good. So we used to say this as well. Like in this area, in the area of Extremadura, it's like, yeah, it's Spanish, but you know, kinda. Yes, good that we read everything here.
Yep.
At least so far. Let's see during the meeting.
Actually, we're streaming to Twitch as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. I mean, but
that's
we need to put some more love there.
that's too too modern for me.
Old
I
man.
don't even know how to use it, to be honest. It's like I know how to use it. I know how to stream to Twitch because we did it already, but I don't know how to consume Twitch. It's like everything seems like disorganized. Um, it's a different style compared to YouTube. I guess this is we're getting old, maybe.
To me, Twitch has too many different things around the screen, like tiny, too much content, too noisy, like old school.
Yeah, because it's for gamers usually, right? So maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not a gamer, unfortunately.
Me neither. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at my cousin Sergio. It can actually be.
I am here, but trying to connect.
If I put myself like this from the side, we can be twins.
Ooh, no. Come on. No.
What was wrong with the other view?
Because I have the camera in front of me and you have to look at me, at my eyes, my beautiful eyes. So, yeah. Look at me.
Scary.
Injected in blood.
Are we streaming to Twitter as well?
Yes.
We should ideally, but
We have
You
even one
trust me.
like. I wonder how many people don't know yet what the meeting is going to be about.
maybe 2 or 3. We call it boca chanclas in Spanish. You know,
Yes.
it's someone who's always, they say everything. They cannot keep their mouth closed. So we are kind of boca chanclas a little bit. But instead of calling ourselves boca chanclas, we're transparent and we do open source. Right? Because our website is open source, so we cannot hide stuff.
I wonder if GitHub's going to do some feature like private pull request.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be amazing. Like, I don't know, like announcement pull request or something like that. Hey, Mike. Long time.
Yeah. How you doing?
Hey.
Hi, Lucas. Hi, Sergio. Hi, Dennis.
Hey,
Hey,
Mike.
Hello.
Hey, Bacek.
Check.
Magic.
Stop
Magic.
welcoming people with yawning. Come on.
Magic. Hi, Magic. Your name is boring. Oh. Sorry, I need some sleep.
I wanna say something, but you know, we're recording.
You're recording and streaming.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You think we need to ping Chris?
Yeah, we should.
I have my mobile somewhere.
Hey, Lorna.
Hey.
It will be great that next time, since I have control on who's joining the call and I see it before you see them, it will be great to do an introduction of the person, right? Like, you know, from the UK, Lorna Mitchell.
Do I get welcome music?
And then you accept something like this.
Were you guys talking about me again?
I was
exactly
about to
what
do
happened.
it. I was about to make a joke with you, but then Ukas ruined the joke. I was about to introduce you before you actually joined.
Well, thank you.
But regarding this feature, I think that's actually why Twitch is so popular, because you can do those, I think, kind of effects, special effects. Like people can clap whenever you speak, I think, or give you some emotions. I think.
I think you can raise your hand here. That's the only thing you can do.
That's the only emotion you can express.
Look at King, and this is really good. This is actually feature rich. You know, like you can do whatever you want in front of the camera, of course. I mean, follow code of conduct, of course.
You can always make things manually, like passing
marquee,
yeah, manually. I'm not gonna do it, by the way.
That will be amazing.
So it's 3 past, but let's wait like maybe 1-2 minutes more. You think? Or are you in rush, Fran?
I'm not.
I don't have to go anywhere.
My day doesn't have a beginning and a finish now, so it's a full loop of every day doing the same. I think what was the name of the movie? Hedgehog Day?
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, exactly.
Thank you, Lord.
Groundhog Day.
I would watch Hedgehog Day though.
Yeah, exactly. It's like hedgehog sounded a little bit weird. It's a little bit like Hedgehog Day as well. Whatever it means. Sonic Day. Why Sonic Day is here?
Well, it's just like it because you have to do the right thing in the end, Fran, for it to work out. Otherwise, it'll be the exact same day, changing diapers forever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true that at least it's not forever. At the very least. But it looks like.
Not the diaper part, but the rest of it.
Not the diaper part. Then the diaper becomes a metaphor, right?
Yeah, you just wait. You just wait.
Okay, I think it's time to start. Nobody new joined, so let me clean my voice. Hello. On our special open meeting. It's a first special meeting this year, but our second special in the history. But it's important to share one important news. Some of you probably noticed the news already somewhere on Twitter. But I will not do any spoilers. I will only say that among so many great people joining the meeting, we have one special guest, Chris Aniszczyk. And I will not introduce this guest because I will do a spoiler already. So the guest has to introduce himself. And I will, like the last time, because we have unusual situation, and we have live streams, so we have people in chats as well, pretty active. So I'm gonna also look at the chats. So I will be splitted if to like two different dimensions, like personalities. So I will just give voice to Fran and Chris then. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Lucas. I just have to say that I have nothing prepared. I have no pitch at all. Like some of you may know why. I've been a little bit busy changing diapers. So yeah. For those of you who have been following AsyncAPI closely lately, right, you might have heard that recently we joined Postman, and just doing this to put a little bit of context for those who don't know yet, right? And since then it became a little bit more clear, let's say, that it was more important than ever that we should be joining a neutral ground instead of doing this just ourselves, and legally speaking, the project being a project of Fran Mendes, you know, that's not serious, that's not formal. It's like this guy dies or becomes a little bit more crazy, and then yeah, that's not fair for the rest of the contributors, right? So we started after joining Postman, the team ourselves, and partnering as an initiative with Postman. Then we started working on joining a neutral ground, and so today we're pleased to announce that we're joining Linux Foundation. So here, now it's when we need these reactions that Lucas was talking about. Like we need this.
Yeah.
That will be amazing. So yeah, I mean, summarizing a little bit on why we did it, I think it's clear. Like we want to we want to join a neutral ground, so this becomes a community project, not a project of a few of us. And the how, just want to mention that this is going to be done following a strict open governance model. And actually, the charter for the project is already available on GitHub, and some of you already contributed because we couldn't hide it, right? It's like we're an open source project. Even the blog post for the announcement today was already as a pull request 3 or 4 days ago there. Because the website is also open source, right? So yeah, we were already spoiling the announcement, and the charter as well. This was prepared together with the Linux Foundation. Trish from maybe you'll have to help me here, King. Trish Sarce. How do you pronounce her name?
What are you trying to say? Sorry.
Trish from Postman.
Trish, our legal department. I see. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Postman legal department. Which
Okay.
is Trish which is Trish and Amelia, but yes.
Yes. So yeah, they've been helping us a lot on the process as well as Michael, Scott, and also Chris and his chick, who happens to be here today with us. Okay. And don't want to be boring you all with all this unprepared story and pitch. So maybe Chris, you want to jump in and I'll pass you the ball, please.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy to kind of answer any questions. I mean, hello everyone. For those who don't know me, Chris Aniszczyk. Also, thank you, Lucas, for it's very rare for someone to pronounce my last name accurately. So dziękuję for that one for sure. So no, we are very excited to have an opportunity to help Async API essentially get to kind of its next, level of growth. A lot of the reasons Fran outlined are, a great reason why projects kind of come to the Linux Foundation. Outside of the neutrality, we also help with ensuring you have open governance. We could also help with events, community growth, fundraising. There's kind of so many things we do. The Linux Foundation truly is what I call foundation as a service now. We host probably, I keep forgetting, maybe like 400 or 500 projects now, probably 50, 60, foundations, call them the house projects. And we're happy to host the Async API. We host some other API initiatives such as GraphQL, Open API, depending if you consider things like gRPC and Proto kind of API things, we host those things. So for me, I look forward to kind of supporting and growing all these communities, and I'm here to basically answer any questions from a Linux Foundation perspective on how things work. But we generally kind of leave the communities to their own devices, and we're here to support you in kind of any way you so desire.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no worries. Any questions, I guess, before I disappear? Another potential exciting thing we could do for Async API is actually, if you're interested in like international standardization, we have that pathway too. So that's something Fran and Lucas and I discussed as potentially an option down the line. So. Any questions?
Nobody has questions because they all knew it already.
I know, it was a secret PR. No, that's exciting. That's exciting. So yeah, we're happy to help, and we look forward to kind of working, with you on this project. So let me know if you need anything else. I'm gonna stay on for another 15 minutes or so before I'm jumping off. But cool, thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. So before anyone has any questions from my side, I started pasting some links in the chat. They will be also in the meeting notes. So the link to the charter, to the blog post about us joining the Linux Foundation from Fran. I saw that Chris already shared the communication from Linux Foundation. Thank you. And I also sent you a link to a latest contribution guide for the spec that we also merged, so you can get familiar with how we're gonna make changes in the spec. And I want to emphasize something pretty clear on the meeting publicly. So I'm not sure how many people had a chance already to read our blog post where we communicate like the motivation behind the charter, why we choose this specific model instead of some other model. And we, in one of the sections, we described our wishful thinking, like what we hope to be an outcome of such a governance model. So I would like to emphasize this chapter and the governance model like a message to all the big companies that would like to be in the technical steering committee of the spec. Just be aware that we made a backdoor much easier to join the technical steering committee. So you don't have to like hire someone fresh and put on the project. So the person works hard to become a TSC. We're gonna have already at least 2 TSC members that are not affiliated with any company. They are like pure individual contributors that work on the spec. So if they're individual contributors, it should be super easy to hire them, and then they will be affiliated with your company in the TSC. So use those backdoors that we hope will also help the contributors of the spec to also get a good job on the market. So if you didn't saw it in between lines in the blog post and the charter, I can't be much clearer here how it works.
This is actually a pretty wishful thinking and backdoor that you added there. I love it. This is really good. So yeah, please hire already contributors. and be and be ready to hit the limit on how many contributors you can have per per company or per organization if you want. So, yeah.
Hey, Fran, can you speak to the potential of, or what's the right word? I don't know, async API being kind of an all-encompassing spec, meaning it's got HTTP, it's got GraphQL. So the fact that OpenAPI, GraphQL, gRPC are all on the Linux Foundation, I mean, it sounds like pretty good opportunity for y'all to work together on things, right?
Correct. So thanks for asking this question, King. I know you're doing it with a double intention. You want me to speak about something that you already know, but
no, I honestly,
I really appreciate
sure
that
sure.
you're bringing me this topic into, so they all know. No, I mean I'm kidding, but you know, so one of the things we've been discussing lately has been the roadmap and the vision and the roadmap, right, and the goals for the initiative. And one of them that was like at least the vision was clear, like we want to become the #1 spec for working with APIs, with any kind of APIs, not just event-driven or asynchronous APIs, right? So we didn't get crazy here. It's just sorry, I shouldn't be saying words like crazy. I should change my language. Like we get very ambitious here. So and the reason is that we think we can do it because we can learn from the past, right? And when we're saying that we want to become the #1 spec for working with any kind of API, not just asynchronous ones, we're not implying here that we're going to reinvent the wheel and we're going to create a replacement for OpenAPI, a replacement for GraphQL, and a replacement for gRPC. And no, right? So the way we intend to do this, and we plan to do this, and it's already on the roadmap on the website, is by actually integrating with the other specs. So AsyncAPI will become like an integrator, if you want, like a hub, where a place where you can use chunks of other specs, right? And you will not have to reinvent. We will not have to reinvent the wheel. You will not have to redefine things that you already have defined on OpenAPI or on GraphQL to use them with AsyncAPI tooling. And ideally, the result will be that will provide a single workflow for people to build APIs. Single workflow, single, yeah, I don't want to call it single tool, because same thing happens on the tooling side, right? Like we're not gonna compete with, I don't know, Apollo, for instance, for GraphQL. That would be stupid. Instead, what we do is that our tooling will integrate with Apollo and with other GraphQL tooling and other gRPC tooling and other REST servers, right? The same way the spec integrates with other specs, right? And ideally for the user, that means that just a single workflow, and in a single place they can have the REST APIs, the GraphQL API, the event-driven APIs, you know, RPC, it can be gRPC. I know Sergio once mentioned that we shouldn't be only sticking to gRPC, but to RPC as in the concept, right? gRPC is just one implementation, but yeah. So yeah, in the future, in 5 years from now, this is the vision. We want to be doing this, and one of the pillars, if we want to make it happen, is that we grow as a community. The growth needs to be insane, because again, the growth has to be very ambitious, right? Because the thing here is that we cannot handle this ourselves, a group of a few people just working on everything, right? That will be impossible for us. So we need to get really strong as a community, right? And the reasoning behind this vision, if you're wondering why we suddenly changed this vision, let's say, is we want to unify the user experience when developing APIs, right? So far, it's a fragmented space. Like, I mean, I cannot explain everything. I did a talk recently on Postman Galaxy where I explain all of this. I don't want to be doing the same talk again here on the call, but yeah, recording is live. I'm happy to share it, and yeah, but the idea behind it is that you probably already faced it, that working with REST APIs, with GraphQL APIs, gRPC APIs, and event-driven or asynchronous APIs, they're all completely disconnected. Like, it's impossible to reuse stuff, to make tooling work with other services, work with each other. We want to work in this direction, basically. We want to help fix that.
Yeah, I'll add real quick to that. I actually got to jump to a JSON schema call, and trying to get their alignment in place is this is really important across all the specs, as Franz said. And I would encourage y'all, if you're on GraphQL conversations or you're in gRPC, help them be aware of the other communities. And we're trying to, join in on the JSON schema Slack channel, and we're going to try to get some of the same. I would say JSON schema is very much learning from Fran and what Lukasz have done as far as the governance is concerned, as well as the community building. And then I would say the Open API is watching as well right now and learning from what's going on. So I think there's a lot of cross-pollination and learning experiences, as well as sharing of resources. And one of the projects I have right now with JSON schema with Ben to talk about is redoing all of their documentation and getting the OAI to pay for it. Is so and the OAI offered, it's not like we're pushing on the OAI offered, because it's dependent on JSON schema for the Open API specification, and it's with the 3.1 release, it's very important to the OAI that JSON schema's docs are up to date. And so this is the spec, this is the supporting resources for the specs, cross-pollination, this is tooling. There's a lot of fronts for this. So anyways, I did kind of plant that question, by the way. But anyways, I got to go. I got to jump to the JSON schema. Congrats, you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks,
See you
Ken.
next call. Bye. So yeah, just to add what Ken said, is this is all about people. It's not about tools and specs in the end, right? We know some people from the GraphQL community and from the gRPC community, and they all feel the same. They all have the same feeling, right? And so one of the things that we want to start, maybe not right now, right? But we want to start the discussion is about gathering together people from different specs, tooling vendors, and maybe users as well. And if not joining, I'm not gonna say that we're gonna join as a single spec or single initiative or anything. I can't foresee this feature right now as things are right now, but at the very least, we should be coordinating, right? Like, we should be talking to each other, like what's happening next on GraphQL, what's happening next on AsyncAPI, what's happening next on gRPC. So we're all aware of each other, and I mean, just for the benefit of the user in the end, right? So we should be working together for the benefit of the user, and probably maintaining some tooling that we all can use, like very low-level tooling that we can all use in case we want to integrate with each other. So yeah. By the way, feel free to join this initiative, and yeah, if you have questions, happy to answer.
Hey, Fran. First of all, congratulations. A couple of just a more housekeeping question. So you're presuming this is okay for people to tweet and blog about, and you actually encourage that. It's not under any kind of like, don't blog yet or anything, or don't tweet yet. Oh, you're not here.
I couldn't hear the last part. Sorry.
Oh, is it? So the summary version would be: is it fine to blog and tweet about this and share your links, etc.?
Oh yeah. For sure,
Okay.
for sure. We're making this public right now. So in this precise moment, like officially it's public. It's been public since in a year, an hour ago, more or less. So yeah. So feel free and actually please share the news, so they all know, and yeah, we can gather together and work together. That would be perfect.
And a second question, which is not related to today's news, it's a process question, I guess. So it kind of relates to spec. If what we're doing currently is looking at basically how we document our infrastructure and AsyncAPI, which includes a lot of SQS, and we wanted to try and contribute back to say, hey, here's basically how we think you should do bindings for SQS and SMS. What is the approach that we should use to do that today? I've seen people who've got something in extensions. I'm not sure we entirely agree with what's in the extension, but is there a preferred approach to contributing towards a spec around particular binding?
So generally speaking, I will say that the answer is always like raise an issue and let's have a discussion there. Like this is the bare minimum, the default, and now we get a process. I think Lucas shared before. We have the contributing document, the new one.
Yeah, sure.
On how on where you can make proposals, right? And this is like simplifying things a little bit, summarizing a little bit, is like stage 0, stage 1, stage 2, and 3, right? I think it's 0 to 3. 3 is already published. It's not really a stage per se, but and stage 0 and 1 are like proposals. If you don't have a clear proposal, it will be probably a stage 0 proposal. It's like this is something that's on top of your mind. This means it's you open an issue, you'll have there an option to choose which kind of proposal you're making. Or if you don't have a clear proposal on how to solve the problem, but you just want to make a proposal that we discuss on making a proposal, right? Then just open an issue and let's have the discussion. I think that's the best way.
Okay, after opening an issue, would it be a help for opening an issue if we say fork the relevant repo, put some kind of rough out version of what we thought might be appropriate in there, and then we could discuss that and then say, if you think this is the way to go, don't go this way, etc., and then keep iterating on that to come with a more solid proposal. Is that what way to do it?
So proposals can be either an issue, or if you're in the mood, maybe you can just propose a pull request with some examples, with some changes in this case, right? Up to you. Like, of course, if it's a pull request, then people can discuss there, but you're risking that people don't really want to work on this, and you lost your time making changes that probably are going to be dismissed with a simple, a simple answer about something you didn't know or something. I don't know. That's why we always say, like, hey, first communicate the intention, don't lose your time.
Yeah.
And then once everybody agrees, or at least there's someone telling you like, hey, yeah, this is something that will be worth exploring, or at least nobody is rejecting the idea for whatever reason, then you open the pull request. But yeah, if it's something that it's not going to take you a lot of time, then sure, pull request is preferred.
We've got some roughed out ideas internally, so it wouldn't be huge, but we can put something in an issue, and then we can maybe do the PR to just explore the idea.
This is really not because of us. So what we're trying to do here is to prevent people to lose their time.
Sure, yeah.
Working on stuff, it always feels bad when you have to reject somebody's work. And this could have been prevented by a single question somewhere.
Yep, absolutely. Completely get that. Yeah.
Maybe not for you. You already know. We discussed this in the past in other meetings, but for other people watching now or the recording, I want to clarify that, right? So it's not because of us. We're not very strict about the process. It's just we don't want you to lose time, right? Okay.
And there was a question, but I don't know whether I misunderstood about suggesting that you might wanted to wait until this point until effectively you'd become part of the foundation before people kind of did much more contribution. Is that true, or did I misunderstand something? You just waiting for this moment to kind of happen before you invite people to do that?
I'm not sure I understood.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but just wanted to say something. I'm not native, as you may have noticed. So if you could please try to make an effort, because I'm really struggling to understand your accent. Sorry.
Okay. So, yeah. No, I was just saying that I think at one point there was a suggestion that you would like people to wait before making PRs about the spec until you had actually joined the foundation and had created new guidelines. So I'm just guessing we're past that point now.
Yeah, we're already past that point. Yeah. You're right. I'm sorry for not.
As far as I remember, you're mostly interested with bindings, right? SNS and SQS then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with bindings, you did not really have to wait, because bindings are at the end, they're separate from the spec a bit. So I think we merged one PR even during the cycle. But anyway, in case of SNS and SQS, process for you should be easier than any other, because we don't have anything there yet.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a first proposal. And as you noticed, probably there are not many people in the community yet that are that interested with SNS and SQS. So just go forward, post the idea, create pull request, and let us just merge this first 001 version of the binding. And because we're also looking, important to know is that you probably notice how many bindings there are, and there are probably many coming, and it's just like impossible for like one human being to be able to be the owner of all the bindings. So we're definitely looking forward for people that are not only interesting to consume binding and use binding, but actually propose the binding and stay as an owner of the binding, as a maintainer of the binding. So just be aware that if you will submit, especially this first pull request about SNS and SQS, we will ask you like, will it be okay for you if like after merging, you will be happy and okay with also reviewing pull requests whenever somebody will suggest changes?
Sure. Yeah.
Then so yeah, definitely if you have you want to take this role, then
we call this championing, right? Like become a champion of a feature or of a proposal or part of the project. Like Uka said, right? Like we cannot, a few human beings cannot take care of the whole project, even less if we're gonna grow. So yeah, that will be for those who are listening. If you're interested in a specific part of AsyncAPI, like, don't wait for us to do it. Like just jump straight, and let's do it together.
Cool.
So we have one question from Mike, because I don't know, he doesn't want to talk, so that's fine. Just trolling him. So what is your view on the DCO get signed off for contributions going forward? Or CLA? Okay. So to me, I don't have a clear opinion on that point, to be honest. Like I like it from the legal perspective, if you want. The moment you start working with too many people and too many big companies, not only big companies, but too many companies, and the project grows and grows a lot, I think it's probably necessary that you have this kind of mechanisms in place. But I'm not a lawyer, so.
So I can tell you, like, luckily we don't have to have one. at least for the tooling. So I mean, I was working before for a big corporation, so I know the CLI is like they're pretty sensitive. But luckily, and Linux Foundation somehow solved it already. So luckily, we don't have to enable any CLI tooling on AsyncAPI tooling. So no special agreements, acceptance, whatever to contribute. But that's because at the end it's code that if somebody claims ownership of this some particular part of the code, we're just going to rewrite it. The only challenge here is with the spec. I mean, if somebody contributed part of the spec, I mean, rewriting is not an option.
And the spec becomes a challenging part if you want to become an ISO standard, for instance, an international standard. Otherwise, it's also not so problematic, I will say. I think so, as far as I know. But if you want to become an ISO standard or any other kind of international standard, you need people to resign from, claiming the ownership of a part of the spec, because specs are a little bit different than code. And yeah, that's the only part that I will say.
But like, conclusion is like, for sure we have to look into like make sure if we don't have to enable anything already on the spec.
Mm.
But on the tooling, we're free. Nothing changes.
No, yeah, on the tooling for sure, no, for sure. I mean, open source licenses are enough. So, yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, so nobody has a question like what's next? So
what's next?
Oh, thank you, Fran. So I listed few, like, I mean, I was expecting such a question, but it's not a problem that you didn't ask it. Like, we're cool. So I listed few items that would like to get your attention to those. So first of all, with bindings, as I said before, it's easy to add those changes in the bindings. With spec, we almost have everything in place except of one thing. Like, we can start the whole process of adding stuff to the spec, but we're not yet in a position to merge it because we did not yet agree on the release cadence for the spec. So I'd like to, like, if you're interested in this topic of releasing specification, then I just pasted a link, and again, it's going to be in the meeting notes. There's a discussion started by Fran, many different opinions, and that's something that that's a, like, let's say, next big thing to solve for the spec. And once we solve this, we can like start pushing whatever we want, like crazy. So that's one thing. The other thing, from the charter point of view, like technical steering committee, etc. So we now have to, like, the charter is pretty clear about how to become a technical member of the technical steering committee. It's at the end a maintainer of a given repo, and we're gonna like manage it through two different files. It's gonna be code owners, the file that is a part of the GitHub features, and a custom file called voting. And so for us, like to finalize, not finalize, like make some, how do you say when you want to say it's something like making something official, formal? Yeah, formal. So to make things formal, now we're gonna have to go through all the repos, set up the code owners, and ask the current code owners if they want to become a voting members of the ETSC and put them in the voting file. So just be aware that we're gonna, kick off this process. We contacted few individual contributors already if they want to stay and become technical steering committee members. So we need to now just formalize that, like add there, like for example, Michael from Solas that contributed to great templates to the spec, and we have Michael on the call, and there's going to be also Pavel that works a lot on the AsyncAPI, and so other people, like also a few people from Postman, of course, that contribute regularly. So we are gonna do these things now, and at the end publish like official list of the SC members on the website for the transparent from the transparency point of view, of course, because like not everyone joins these meetings, joins our Slack, and we want to continue being super transparent to the community. So that's the things that we're going to work on. We're going to also work on we need to start planning some work on some tooling that will support Charter, like how we can make sure that we really have we respect this rule, how many people from one company are in the technical steering committee, to make sure there's the power doesn't stay in one company. So we will have to have some tooling that can monitor those code owners and voting files. So a lot of things. And you know that Fran, he's like, he has different challenge now, much more important than anything else. And like next 2 weeks, I'm going to be a lot involved in Google Summer of Code, because we were not accepted through AsyncAPI, but Postman like posted our ideas through their application, that because Postman was accepted. So, and we got so many different people joining Slack recently because of Google Summer of Code, and many applications already showed up, which is great. I mean, for us, it's great because we already see that there are many great contributors coming to the organization. So we want to handle it like properly and like respect their time for contribution and review the applications. So like next 2 weeks, they're gonna be crazy for us. So like huge request to you, like we are now in the safe ground, but it's doesn't mean that we don't need help. So in any of these that I mentioned, or if you know you want and you can help in some different way to the initiative, like please contact us. We have many things to hand over to somebody else. And
many things we could start, but we're not doing it yet because nobody is taking the lead there. So many cool things we could be doing. So yeah.
Any questions?
I like these moments, like when nobody answers, and suddenly it's like cuckoo clock, you know. Cuckoo, cuckoo.
There's I haven't seen it on Slack, but I think it was on HipChat back in the days, or Skype. You had this tumblewind, this emoji of this stuff floating. I think it's common to some part of states.
Southern United States, yeah.
Yeah, where there's a wind, there's nothing but those stuff are rolling on the
rolling plants. There's
yeah,
like dried plants, actually, like the desert, right? The ones from the desert.
That's how tumbleweed. So that's how I always feel when you ask a question, nobody answers, and I just imagine this like. It's again, I'm going to repeat myself. It's good to finish the meeting before the schedule. Thanks a lot for all of you for joining. the link to the notes, it's going to be on Slack, on Twitter, YouTube video description, where you're going to see all the links, everything we mentioned. You know how to catch us, to ask questions offline. That's do it. That's fine. And see you somewhere out there.
Yeah, we're nice people. So if it's your first time watching AsyncAPI, or at least we try to be nice people, or we pretend it. So
At least trying.
Marvelous. So yeah, no, we're nice people and we try to help each other. Sometimes not even related to AsyncAPI. So we sometimes get some people just jump in the channel on the Slack workspace because they need help with something programming related that's not necessarily AsyncAPI related, and they feel so comfortable that they do it there. So yeah, to that degree, you know.
So we kind of enjoying to ask Fran how to work with small baby and then still be
exactly
API. How to
have to change diapers with one hand and coding with the other one, and yeah, probably I'll become a master, I promise.
Leaving the meeting, you have to Fran click it because you're the master of the call today. You have the power to
the host
terminate.
It's called the host, the terminator. Cool, folks. Thank you for joining, and see you. And then look at the marquee on the AsyncAPI marquee. That's nice. Lovely circuit. So see you in the next call, and see you around on the offline channels, online channels. Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.